Welcome to another AriasWave update. Okay, so this is leading on from my previous idea, which I just did on the US dollar. Now, there's been a change in my analysis to do with XLM. And the reason being is quite simply put this area right here. This area right here does not look like a zigzag to me. So therefore, if I treat it like one, I'm going to lose. Now, this is good news. Why is that? Because that means that we have a longer A wave in brackets right there. Okay. Now, if that is the length of wave A, then the length of wave C will be about similar in length, right? Now, my previous target was 80 cents. Now, by all means, if you want to take profits at 80 cents, you go ahead and do that. And the reasoning behind this particular count is simply put, price action of the E where the B wave in brackets ended, it came back to basically the area of the end of wave A in brackets. Okay, so that means we had our A, B, C, D, E, and it came back to that area. So therefore, my measurement now is basically the length of wave A, and that's towards $1.50, right? Could be a little bit higher, could be a little bit lower. You make up your mind, right? Now, obviously, we're going to be tracking these waves, but this, in my opinion, is pretty good news, and it kind of fits with what's happening in the US dollar, right? Now, you'll notice that even though the US dollar has been going up still, and well, cryptos have just been going up as well, I believe that has a lot to do with the fact that there's a weakness in the US dollar. And against that weakness, cryptos have just basically shrugged it off and ignored it. So for me, this is a sign that we are getting ready for quite a nice move up that should basically smash through that last high in May and head towards $1.50. Okay, now I don't usually make drastic changes like this unless I have really gone through the waves and try to make as much sense as possible out of them, right? Now, another piece of information is that this here looks like a zigzag, right? So for the previous count to have been correct, this would have had to be basically a 5-wave move, right? Now, the problem with trying to form fit waves to make them appear the way you want them to appear is a big mistake. And we all make that mistake. It's all part of analyzing, right? We just need to take some time to go back over the waves and just really just try and be, pragmatic and logical, right? And forget about the profits, forget about how much you're invested. Put your emotions aside and really try to visualize things for what they are. Even if the waves seem a bit strange in a 5-wave move, as long as the waves are all there, they can't be mistaken for something else, right? For example, if you look at this particular pattern here, you might even think that that's part of the same pattern, right? But that's not necessarily the case. And I think that's where a lot of confusion can arise. And it happens to everybody, happened to me, right? But in this case, I believe that this has a lot of merit behind it. And also the fact that the price action did come back to what I now consider the end of wave A in brackets. Okay, so from here on up, from the lows, depending on where you got in, right from the lows, we're looking at about a 600% increase, right, in profits. Now, that's not a bad thing, but be aware that if you're not confident on the waves, you may want to basically take off, some profits at the highs in case you're not really confident. Just remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just basically giving you my updated count on using AriasWave methodology. I created AriasWave for a reason, and that was to help me try and understand the way that the patterns work using a framework which I developed. I have a lot of members who use this, and so far I haven't had any complaints. Now, part of the reason why it helps that I put out these videos is that people can, follow along using the portal, using the diagrams, using the content, and can also try to use that in other charts, not just the charts that I provide. Obviously, there are many, 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 many different markets. Okay, so that being said, that is my current view, and nothing has changed. It's not like my view has changed too dramatically. This is a timely video. We're only just getting started on this move. Okay, so there's no need to worry or try and put out some harsh comments that really mean nothing to no one. They're merely just not going to help anyone anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now, just moving down to the smaller degree. Now, I did already have this count in place, and I have previously already given the count. Now, I did get rid of all these other labels here simply because it was getting a little bit messy. This was wave 1 and 2, and then we had another wave 1 and 2. Okay, so we had our A, our B, and we have the lovely CDE pattern. Right, now this is a very nice pattern. Once you learn it and you know where it goes, it can actually provide you valuable information as to what is the point of confirmation that the move is going to continue higher. Okay, now in this case, it's basically almost there. It's at about 38 cents. Okay, and as you can see, the market did dip below the end of wave 1, and then it went up above it and came back down. This is just a typical type 1 expanded correction, right? So nothing too major there. It looked like it was getting a bit choppy down the bottom there, but you know what? There's no point paying attention to too much of that when you understand the rest of the patterns, right? And as you can see, we're already starting to move higher. Okay, so that's basically all I have to say about XLM right now. I track it religiously. Now, this can have implications for other markets as well. I may decide to cover some other markets, but at this point in time, $1.50 looking good for me. I'll keep tracking it as we move along, and hopefully you found this video interesting and informative. I'll catch you on the next one.